Welcome to the Liverpool FC Journal. I'm Owen James, guys. I won't be appearing on camera today. There's reasons for that. I'm just got home from work and I can't obviously appear in my work uniform on camera, so apologies for that, guys. Obviously, we are here to bring you the latest Liverpool news. Look, it has not been the best start to the season for this man. Our manager, Arne Slot, has not gone according to plan, really, has it? I think, when we spent all the money that was spent in the summer, I think the plan was very much that Liverpool were to dominate on all four fronts, to all singing or dancing, winning games, but the reality has been far different to that. It has not been the best start to the season. Liverpool now sitting 8th going into this international break, and losing six out of the last 7 games. Away form does not look very good either. Certainly if you look at Liverpool's away form this current calendar year, this current Premier League season, going into the Premier League, just in the Premier League, it is not overly impressive at all. The stats that Arne Slot's team have racked up so far this season. When you consider obviously how much money's been spent, you'd have hoped for better. The away record is played 6, won 2, lost 4, 1 point per game, goals scored 8, goals against 12, so a -4 goal difference away from home. At home, a lot better, obviously 5 games played, 4 wins, 1 draw, 2.4 points per game, 10 goals scored, 5 goals against, so the record is a hell of a lot better at home, but the away record does not stack up well. And lots of fans have criticised Arne and the style of play this year. Have said that the style of play is dull, it's boring. The players don't seem to know what they're doing. There seems to be a real lack of direction. I think, a lot of people have pointed to the fact this is a transitional year maybe, and perhaps the expectations were a little bit too high. Maybe obviously trying to find the best way to blend together all of these new players is a tricky situation that Slot is still battling with, and trying to find the best combinations to get the best out of these players. Certainly, we haven't seen the best of Florian Wirtz, we have not seen the best of Jeremy Frimpong, we've not seen the best obviously of Alexander Isak, although his career so far at the club has been hampered by injury. It's even prompted some Liverpool fans to start to think about Arne Slot losing his job this season, which I think at the end of last season would have been absolutely unthinkable. I think if you'd said to a Liverpool fan at the end of last season, look, your manager could lose his job next season, I think he'd have been laughed out of town. However, there are, as it appears, no plans this season to sack Arne Slot unless things get really, really dire and bad. Who says this? Well, this man, Fabrizio Romano, the Italian transfer guru, has been having his say on the Arne Slot situation. Now, we know that Fabrizio is a man that knows the inside track. He finds things out. He's the man in the know, a man who seems to sleep with his mobile phone sellotaped permanently to his hand or his ear. So, a guy who finds things out, finds out what's going on with clubs, finds out what things from agents. And this is what he had to say regards the Liverpool and Arne Slot situation. It's been a complicated start to the season for Liverpool. This is what Fabrizio said. He said, but what I can say is the information arrives very clear. Liverpool keep backing the manager, Arne Slot. Liverpool keep supporting the coach. Liverpool keep believing Arne Slot is the right man for the job. Is the right man to fix the situation, is the right man to help this team perform after many signings, after many changes, after many different things compared to last season, and so to maintain their confidence in the manager. There is no contact with any other agent or representative of a different manager. There is full trust in Arne Slot from the players and from the club. So the situation remains absolutely 100% under control, and Liverpool have absolutely no intention to change anything. So that's what Fabrizio has had to say. So there's some interesting things in those comments. Now, you could, of course, say that this is the classic back the manager and then sack the manager a couple of weeks later, which obviously has happened in the past. But thinking what Fabrizio says here, there are a number of messages that are quite clear that, Arne Slot is going absolutely nowhere. There's constant backing for the man from Richard Hughes, from Michael Edwards, from FSG. The players as well. You watch the players. Yes, there does seem to at times be a bit of a poor performance from the players. But, on the whole, they seem to be playing for the manager. The victories over Real Madrid and Aston Villa would appear to indicate that. Had they really downed tools and given up and not listening to the manager, I don't think there's any way they go out and they beat Real Madrid, for example, in the Champions League. This is the key thing, I think. There's a lot of changes taken place. A lot of new signings have come in, and you could argue, yes, the squad hasn't been massively expanded. It hasn't, but players have gone out, players have come in. In a way, the team from last season has been pretty much dismantled, and new players have been brought in. It takes time for some of those new players to bed in, especially if you consider a number of those players, obviously not including Milos Kerkez and Alexander Isak in this, but, the likes of Florian Wirtz, Jeremy Frimpong, for example, Hugo Ekitike, who has been fantastic this season, have come from other countries. It takes time for them to settle in and to find the right way in this team. And maybe as well, I think Slot is trying to move to his own style, his own way of playing, and maybe that transition is taking time for the players to really understand what the manager wants. And, as Fabrizio says, lots of things have changed. And I think those changes are what is buying Arne Slot time. There is even the indication that Fabrizio went to talk about the fact that he says this is a transitional season for Liverpool. In a way, what does that transitional season mean? Maybe there is an indication there that competing for one or two trophies and perhaps not winning everything as may have been the expectation at the start of the season, which of course does fly in the face of what Arne Slot and Richard Hughes said at the start of the season when they talked about building a squad to compete on all four fronts, which certainly seemed to be the indication, but hasn't happened. As well, the fact that no other, the fact that Fabrizio clearly has an understanding that no other agent has been approached and no other manager has been approached. And certainly if you look at the way the Premier League teams conduct their business, it very much is the case that if a Premier League team is about to replace its manager, it will have someone else lined up to come in. Now, look, there is no obvious name out there at this moment in time, and maybe that is an indication as to why there has been no approaches to any other manager or head coach at this point in time. So it seems very much that the intention is that Arne Slot, no matter how bad things are at the moment, is going absolutely nowhere. I think the indication is very much that things would have to get a whole lot worse before any decision would be taken around his future. Now, of course, Liverpool come back from the international break and have perceivably what you would say are a easier run of fixtures in the Premier League, for example. I don't think the European fixtures get any easier in particular. PSV perhaps, but we did lose to PSV away last season. The game, though, is at Anfield this time. Inter Milan away is a tough game. Inter have done fantastically well in the Champions League this season and past seasons. But, you look at the games coming up and you would say that, the home to Forest should be 3 points, away to West Ham should be 3 points, home to Sunderland, as well as they've done this season, should still be 3 points. With the Anfield atmosphere, away at Leeds really struggling. Daniel Farke on the ropes there. Again, it should be 3 points. At home to Brighton, again, should be 3 points. Spurs away is tough, granted, on the 20th of December. Then it's Wolves at home on the 27th of December. Leeds at home on the 1st of January. So, right up until the new year, you'd say that there's a much easier run of fixtures there. Now, if Slot was to emerge from that spell of fixtures with more defeats than wins, then certainly I think even bigger questions would start to be answered. But you've got to hope, but you've got to hope that by that point that Liverpool may have found a way and a style of play that suits the players they've got and the way that Slot wants them to work, and the form will be back. But it certainly seems for the moment there are no plans for Arne Slot to go anywhere, and he will not be sacked by the club at this point in time. Guys, I'd love to know your thoughts on this. Please obviously drop me a comment. If you've enjoyed the content, please like, comment, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching the Liverpool FC Journal. I'll catch you on the next one.